Hello, NiRiain video. Today we're going to take a look at a team around Florges, and we're actually battling Indigo Battle League for this cup and not against friendlies like everybody else somehow, but I don't know. New trend, I guess, on YouTube. We see here a very decent lead for us, and also we see a very good save-up for us. We're running the Garchomp on our team here. As I said, this is basically the team that I'll showcase as well as the first team on the top teams video for this league. Garchomp is kind of optional in the back. If you have Excadrill, it's also kind of nice. Like, both have some pros and cons. The con for Excadrill itself might be that you are not able to beat normal Excadrills. Like, they're going to have an energy advantage against you, and you have your Snorlax there, so it's a little bit tricky against Excadrill leads against you. While here we face a Gengar in the back, very good for our Snorlax, of course. Basically, we just hardwall the opponent there. While the Garchomp sometimes is a little bit of problems against the Metagross still, even though you're supposed to beat them, it's a little bit tricky. A lot of times I was actually kind of missing Sandtomb, like, not gonna lie. I think Sandtomb version might be a little bit better, but also then again, I had a lot of games where I just completely swept with the Garchomp, so not sure. This team definitely works though. Like, I went definitely positive with this team, was pretty nice to play. Of course, this cup itself is a little bit RPS, and it's a little bit interesting to see what's still around here, because I'm not a big fan of this kind of cup anymore. The reason for this is not because I don't like the cup here itself. The reason is just that it's kind of ridiculous right now to have a level 50 Master League and a level 40 Master League, where you basically need the same Pokemon. It's different for like Ultra League, where you can basically keep them for both, but here you can either have them for this league or for the other league. So it's Master League itself right now, I'm not a big fan of it. I'm very happy when this week is over, but you can kind of want to play this week because you're going to get triple starters for completing Go Battle League tasks here. Like, you're going to get like 2,700 or something for the first one, and like a lot for the other one as well, which is going to be pretty nice. So more Stardust, but of course I'm not the biggest fan of Master League either. I saw in the poll today that on YouTube as well, that a lot of people are skipping this week. I can definitely understand it, and I am not the biggest fan either. I'm still going to try to make content for both leagues here. I'm more interested in the Evolution Cup coming up though, to be honest, as this is going to be very interesting there. And yeah, maybe I'm also going to start to make videos about the league before the league is even out. Don't know yet. We see them catching a Moonblast here on the Gyarados are very fine for us, as we can just go now into our Snorlax, but we're actually going to let this move, like the Pokemon go down, because we don't really want to give up switch advantage here. If they ever had answer for our Snorlax in the back, we were kind of screwed here, so we're going to go ahead and go for one Body Slam now, get some extra energy, so we might get to a superpower against the Mamoswine. But we will see that they're not going to go into their Mamoswine, they're going to go into their Dragonite. And like this, we are kind of screwed, because we have to get rid of this Dragonite, and if they swap out here, we are kind of lost. And yeah, they are swapping out. We can go for one more charge move here against this incoming Mamoswine, but of course they can just farm me down there, and I will not be able to KO the opposing Dragonite with our Snorlax in time. Horrible lead for us. We see a Metagross and we see a Gyarados coming in here now. Shadow Gyarados, very scary in this matchup, but we can go for some Body Slams, and I'm pretty sure because they are Shadow, even though no, they're actually not even best buddy, to be honest. Like, there's like some kind of bulk and breakpoint if you have a best buddied Snorlax with a normal Gyarados. If you have a best buddied Gyarados against a normal Snorlax, there was like some kind of weird matchup swapping happening there, but they got the debuff anyway, so it doesn't really matter for them. But we can get at least one shield here, or we will be able to win back switch advantage, and we're actually gonna get the shield back, which means we can go into our Florges, farm this thing all the way down. We don't really care too much about it. We can keep our shield, and I expect them to have a Dragonite in the back, so I'm going to swap out already into my Garchomp, so I get a head start on energy, go for one outrage here, and I will be able to knock this thing out. And this play was actually pretty insane, going into like basically throwing away my switch advantage there, expecting them to have the Dragonite in the back to get the extra energy so I can go for my charge move in time before they can get to their charge move. Was amazing, as we can now sweep with the Garchomp here. It was like, I was kind of proud for this play, to be honest. As we see the next opponent here having a Snorlax in lead, it's going to be best buddied. I can go for one Moonblast, and as we have an ABB line here, it's a neutral lead here, we kind of want to swap out. And we're going to swap out into our Snorlax. They can go for a superpower, it doesn't matter. Superpower is super effective, but still will not even come close to KOing you. They can go for another one. We are just a sponge here, to be honest, as they can now swap out into their own Florges, which is fine for us. We can go ahead, go for some body slams, and we will be able to get some pretty decent damage on this Pokemon here. But they can actually go for another move. But does this even KO us? It's going to be a disarming voice, and it sadly actually does KO us. I didn't expect it. As we see in P-Type against them here, which is either not that good. Our floor just doesn't have the best IVs. Actually, I had a way better one, but like back in the day when you had to get this thing, like it's still the same thing. I think you had to have it as a buddy and walk like 20 kilometers or something. I think it was like 10 kilometers only. And I did it the first time, but I had it already as a buddy. The pre-evolution then didn't count the kilometers, so I was kind of screwed there. Now I had to have a reverse version, but it's still fine. As we see an opponent here coming into their Metagross, they still have a shield left, so I don't think that's going to be a win here anymore. It's, yeah, kind of hit or miss sometimes. With this league, either you get hard-walled or you hard-wall your opponent. It is kind of often the case, as we kind of have no chance here anymore. We can still go for a Moonblast, and actually the Moonblast is still going to do some pretty decent damage against the Metagross here, as we will see them going for a charge move, going to be a Meteor Mash, and we will see that we see an opponent here that I actually know from like all the Twitch chats. I know that they are likely to snipe a lot of people, but here they're going to have a Shadow version of the Snorlax going to shield our move up, as we know that they have a lead that we don't really want to face with our guard jump here. We can go into our guard jump, we can take those body slams, we can go for 2 earth powers, and we will be able to get another shield or switch advantage against this Pokemon. Most likely, maybe we have to give up another shield because they have some extra energy now. We don't know yet, we will see. They go for the superpower, as we can go for another charge move. Do they want to go 2 shields down or not? They do want to go 2 shields down, which is fine for me. We can go back into our Florges, they go into their Metagross, and we can go into our Snorlax here. I should wait out the clock a lot of times more often. This happened to me like several times during my gameplay here. I was just not patient enough to not swap immediately into my Pokemon, which kind of hurt me sometimes. Like here I could have swapped out early as well. But it's still fine, we can go for one superpower, and we should put him into a range where we can even farm down with our lick damage, which is very good for us, as we can go ahead, go for one body slam real quick, which will do some nice damage against Gyarados. And if you just saw it there, the Gyarados is not running Waterfall, it's not running Dragon Breath, it's not running Dragon Tail, it's running Bite. I'm not sure if this was an accident or not, because I don't really see why you would want to run Bite. But maybe they are watching this video and they can tell me, maybe they were sniping someone again. Could be the case, as we see that we can just destroy this Gyarados here pretty easily. They go for one Aqua Tail, we can go for one Disarming Voice, and they're actually going to decide to forfeit here, which is fine for us. Next opponent, Hexorus in the lead. Hexorus in the lead basically means we should be able to win this match, because it's usually Hexorus, Snorlax, and then either the Metagross or the Excadrill or the Magnezone, some kind of Steel type. Like, it's pretty much always the same recipe for that thing there. So we're going to stall one move with our Florges, and we will see a Snorlax there. But of course, everything can still go wrong. We will see what the Snorlax is going to do here. It's going to go for one superpower and going for another one here immediately afterwards. And also, they're going to swap out now into their Hexorus. So now we are not the best spot, I guess, because they can now go ahead and farm me all the way down. But the thing with Hexorus is it has access to Night Slash and also the Dragon Claw. So what do they want to throw against me again? Nothing, I guess. So we can just farm them all the way down. They go for the Night Slash. We can farm literally all the way down with the new move Fairy Wind, as we see the opponent coming in into their Metagross. I am so shocked. It's insane. What a surprise, as we can go into our guard jump now. And we're a little bit, I don't know, we're actually in a tough spot here right now. Because Metagross, this is like those scenarios where I really wish that we have Sandtomb instead. I don't know, like you kind of want to have 3 moves with your guard jump right now in this meta. Earth Power just to finish things off. Sandtomb just to have those 2-shot scenarios which you easily win then. And the Outrage for all the Dragonites that you can just snipe with that thing. But like this, it's a little bit tricky, but we can still go for one move, but they can perfectly catch it onto their own what's called Snorlax here. And now we're kind of screwed as they can just farm us down here and KO us. So that's going to be a good game or not. We survive it with a 1 HP and we can go for one disarming voice. Being able to still win this game with 1 HP with our Florges is of course pretty nice and pretty lucky. Next opponent, we see another Florges against us in the lead here, as we can go ahead and just go for the mirror. We have 15 attack at least, so we're going to be able to at least tie the CMP there, as we can go for one Moonblast and we're going to hit this one. I don't really want to swap out here as a first person, because of course we have our Dragon type in the back and they go into the Excadrill, so we can go into our Dragon type Garchomp and we will be able to go for some Earth Powers to hopefully KO this Pokemon in time before they can redo a lot of damage. But actually they're going to be able to win this matchup in the 2-shield scenario, so this will not be the best idea scenario for us here. They will be able to win this in 2 shields, but they are not going for the 2 shields. As you can see here, there's Earth Power coming through and KOing the opponent, which is very nice for us. They go back to the Florges, they're going for one charge move here, and they will be able to knock us out with one disarming voice, as we can go back into our own Florges, go for one Moonblast here, hope that they're going to no shield, but they're going to shield it up. We try to farm up a little bit extra without getting into the risk where they can just throw one Body Slam. And now we have Snorlax against Snorlax, but we have one shield, they have more energy, but they have to throw body slams basically now, so they don't debuff themselves early on, which is going to be pretty decent for us, as we can see that they go for more and more body slams. We can of course go also for some body slams, like nobody really wants to be the first one to debuff themselves with the superpower. But this might be already the superpower and I'm going to shield up. And they're actually running the Earthquake, which is amazing for us now, as we can go for one superpower. And I have to see that they don't catch my next one, so they're going to go into their own Florges. I can go into my Florges, go for one disarming voice. Going to be a foul play clone that's going to KO the opponent's Florges, and we're going to be able to go for one more superpower against the opponent's Snorlax, KOing them and winning us the game here. Very cool game, to be honest. Kinda dynamic, kinda back and forth the entire time, as we see the next opponent having a perfect lead against us. And I think this is actually one of my favorite games again, as we're going to try to catch the move. We don't going to get this one done here, but we see a Conkeldurr coming in against our Snorlax. And this is here the issue, of course, we get completely hardwalled here. There's nothing we can do. But we can get to another Body Slam here. And if they're not shielding this, and you can see it here, I don't care. I'm going to invest all my shields. I'm going to try to get my switch advantage back, and they're not even throwing their second charge move for whatever reason here. They definitely were at one, and this is going to allow me to go for one charge move here into the incoming Dragonite again. And now I basically got perfectly hardwalled from the get-go. They had a Dragonite, they had a fighting type in the back against my Snorlax and my Garchomp, and they had a Steel type against my Fairy type. But because I invested the shield against my Snorlax and they kinda screwed up there, I'm going to be able to now go into my Garchomp and just farm down this Magnezone until this thing is gone. They will not be able to do anything about this here. I will just go ahead and farm them all the way down. I'm not going to throw any charge move here. I don't really care. Just shutting down this Steel and Electric type. It's very good for us as a matchup here, as we can now get so much energy. And we get the final Mudshot through as well in this charge move, KOing them, going straight for the outrage here, trying to KO the opposing Dragonite. They go and shield it up. And I actually don't reach another one, which is kind of sad, but it doesn't really matter. We have so much energy here. They're going to run the superpower anyway, and they will see that this disarming wall is going to do enough to basically put them into farm down range. Next opponent here, having a Metagross in the lead. Again, this is the final battle. We go into our Snorlax, and we will see another fighter coming in. We see the Machamp. And we will be able to actually take one Cross Chop from the Machamp. This is like the difference between Machamp and Conkeldurr. Cross Chop doesn't do as much damage, and we can go for one Body Slam here, and we can go for one more Body Slam. And my opponent is letting this move go through for whatever reason. But again, we were completely hardwalled here. We can go into our Garchomp again, and we have to see what they have in the back. I would expect that they might have a Dragon type in the back, or something like a Gyarados. And we will see the Gyarados coming in here, but sadly, you're going to see that I make a really huge mistake later on in this matchup, sadly, as I can go for one Moonblast here. And we were actually pretty lucky here, as we're gonna get the debuff, and we can try to farm them all the way down. And I make a big mistake in the following matchup. You're going to see me farming it all the way down now. I have basically two moves stored. I kind of want to throw it just to get rid of the time there. I thought my time was already up, it wasn't. If I threw my move there again, I would have been able to either get the shield or get the health from the opponent, and it would put him into a range where I would be able to still win this game. But because I didn't throw the move, we're going to throw the game here, and we're going to lose this game sadly. But yeah, this is going to be it for the video. Thanks for watching. This team definitely works like a charm, and we will see you in the next video, and bye!